Hi guys, Richard from the Poke Family here again. Now today I want to talk to you guys about the upcoming Gengar Raid Day. It's happening on Saturday, November the 3rd. Go onto your app, go to the news section and check the times when Gengar will be available wherever you are around the world. There's a huge list, it's there. Make sure that you're aware so you can be available if that's possible. It will be structured much like the raid days from the past, the 3 legendary birds. You'll have a 3-hour period in which Gengar appears at the top of every gym. There will be no eggs, it will just sit there. It will disappear once you've defeated the boss and captured it or not captured it. You'll be gifted 5 free raid passes. It's the same drill as before, guys. If you've done one before, you'll kind of know the drill. It'll be there. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is the nitty-gritty, the ins and outs. What does it all mean? What do you guys need to know about this raid day? Well, number one, much like the other raid days, a shiny model will be available. Shiny Gengar will be available, which marks the first time in Pokemon Go history that they have released a final stage evolution Pokemon before their stage 1, before the basic type. So it may be that immediately after Ghastly is released, and obviously Haunter along with that, but they've not announced that. It's not clear. So maybe Shiny Gengar will be available even for a short time in the game before Shiny Ghastly. That's pretty huge, guys. That's pretty significant. Now, the moves. They've announced that Gengar will be allowed 2 unique moves only available during this 3-hour period. One of them being the Ghost type move, Lick, and the other being the Psychic type move, Psychic. Now, are they any good? Yes and no. Psychic, you do not want to keep. TM it away, give your Gengar Shadow Ball. It's a much better move. It's stronger in every way. Gengar will receive stab from it. The damage capabilities of Shadow Ball is insane. It's a 2-bar move. It's just superior in every way. Now, Lick. Lick is crazy good in this circumstance. It is so good. If you've been playing since the beginning, you will have heard of the legendary version of Gengar that had Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. Now, they legacied Shadow Claw. I'm lucky enough to have a Gengar that's got Shadow Claw on it. It's above 80%, it's 84%, and I use it quite regularly. It's maxed out. An 84% Gengar, I've maxed out. I've put the dust into it. Now, Lick. How does it compare to Shadow Claw? Well, it's similar, but not the same. I can tell you that it far outweighs Hex. It is far superior to Hex. If you don't have a Shadow Claw Gengar, this is a no-brainer. Lick Gengar is crazy good in comparison to Hex. In comparison to Shadow Claw, it's different. Not better, not worse. Shadow Claw in itself deals more damage. It's got the power of 9 and Lick has a power of 5, so it inherently deals more damage. At a base, it generates the same amount of energy. However, Shadow Claw animates 40% slower than Lick. So what that means is for every 2 Shadow Claws that you do, you'll almost get a 3rd Lick out there. It's not directly comparable because of the percentages, but what that means is that Lick will generate more energy for charge moves. So what you will lose in damage from Shadow Claw, you will gain in damage from being able to use Shadow Ball more often. So it's very, very similar, guys. It's not the same, but it's similar. There are circumstances in which I think Shadow Claw would be better. A speedy fight, for example, Shadow Claw will be inherently better. But in a raid situation, which is the only situation that we can really take into consideration, PvP is not around yet. There's no other reason other than raiding and taking down gyms. Now, taking down gyms is not too difficult. It doesn't really matter. You're probably better using a generalist Pokemon. You're going to use less potions, etc., than using a Gengar to take gyms down. So we're thinking purely about a raid situation, and in a raid situation, you're going to be in the fight long term. Gengar is a glass cannon, so I think my overall opinion is that more Shadow Balls means more damage. You're going to have a 25% stab bonus with Lick and Shadow Ball on both the moves, so I think overall I prefer Lick to Shadow Claw, and that's even after maxing out a Shadow Claw Gengar. So if you take nothing from this video other than this, Lick is great, Psychic is not. Don't be too worried about using a charge TM to get rid of Psychic and acquire Shadow Ball. Don't worry about it, guys. Just do it. Now, Gengar has appeared in raids before. It's appeared as a tier 3 and a tier 4 boss. The differences in CP have been there. This is a raid day, guys. We're not really sure what's going to happen. Previously with the legendary birds, they behaved like tier 4 bosses, but you receive tier 5 rewards. I can kind of assume that that's going to be maybe the case here. Maybe they'll put it in as a tier 4. It's been a tier 4 before, and it had 31,256 CP. It's also been a tier 3 and it had 19,768 CP when battling. So it's up in the air until we actually see it, and unless I were to try to deliver this video mere hours before the event, Asia get the event before we do, so I could get the information, but you guys wouldn't really have the opportunity to watch the video in detail. So in the end, overall, these raid bosses have not been too difficult to defeat. If you guys have got a fairly active community, you should be fine. You should be able to take these raid bosses down. Gengar's not really a tough one anyway. It's weak to dark, ghost, ground and psychic type moves, which gives you loads of options for counters. Now, I can give you perfect CPs for the raid bosses that have been present currently, but these may be wrong, guys. These may not be right. They've been correct for the previous raid bosses, I can tell you that. The legendary birds, they came out with the right CPs and things for finding perfects, etc. So 1496 with no weather boost would be a perfect. 1776 with a weather boost would be perfect, and because this is a ghost and a poison type, we do have a chance that weather boost will exist. If you live in a part of the world where you get cloudy weather quite regularly, poison types are boosted by cloudy. Ghost, however, is boosted by fog. Where I live, fog is rare. It has happened, I think I remember 3 occurrences now where fog has happened since weather has been introduced into the game. So it tells you how rare it is, and I live in the UK, we're in a temperate environment, so the weather is changeable. We don't get fog very often. I'm sure that there are parts of the world where fog does appear regularly, but for most people we're going to be hoping for a cloudy result. Now let's get on to counters. You've got quite a few options here for countering Gengar. You've got the rather common, you hear this a lot, Mewtwo, Confusion or Psycho Cut depending on taste, with Shadow Ball. Now, not everyone has access to that Pokemon, and not everybody had the opportunity to raid Mewtwo when it was an EX raid boss, and even those that did, I did above 20 and I didn't manage to get one with good IVs. I traded to try and improve that, and it just didn't work out for me. But if you've got one, it's a really great counter. You're gonna be dealing super effective damage. You're gonna have stab on the confusion or the psycho cut. You're not gonna have stab on shadow ball, but Mewtwo's attack stat is crazy, guys. It's crazy good. I don't think that it will ever be surpassed in the game. But anyway, you could go Groudon with Mud Shot and Earthquake. It's a ground type. It's, you know, it's a legendary Pokemon, guys. It's the part of the weather trio. It's got crazy CP. It's really good. I don't know whether I would put it at the top of this list. I did it second because, come on guys, who uses their ground types? Not very often, and this is an opportunity to, you know, wheel out your Groudon that you've put all that dust and stuff into. Dust and candy. It's worth a go. The age old. The reason why everyone's got so many of them. I mean, I've got 5 that are maxed out, and I'm working on a 6th. Tyranitar with Bite and Crunch. A great attack stat, above average defense and hit points. This guy is going to be a stalwart for a long time, if not forever. He mega evolves in Gen 6, so when that comes around, you know, I would never ever say to anyone, don't power up a Tyranitar. So useful, so dynamic, a great Pokemon. You could use Espeon with Confusion and Future Sight. The evolutions don't get wheeled out as much anymore. Occasionally you might see a Vaporeon being used in the right circumstances, but they've fallen a little bit by the wayside as they've been surpassed by other Pokemon. And this is a great opportunity to use your Espeons that you've got maxed out or powered up past some damage breaking points. I don't know whether I'll use mine. I've got a 98 that I've got maxed out. I might just stick with Tyranitar, but it's a great counter, guys. There's no reason not to use it. Gardevoir with Confusion and Shadow Ball. Not many people will consider that Pokemon because they often go with the classic combination of Confusion and Dazzling Gleam, it being a fairy type, but it's got a great attack stat. It's a bit of a glass cannon, but hey, it's incredibly usable in this situation. When you're battling these raid bosses, guys, they're going to go down fast, so you want your high damage Pokemon. It doesn't matter so much about the stamina and defense. These things are going to go down fast, so damage is key. If you want to get as many Gengar raids in as possible, this is key. Metagross, a great generalist, has access to a psychic quick move with Zen Headbutt, and obviously you would want to use Meteor Mash. I mean, it's not going to be super effective, you're going to get stabbed though, and you know, Metagross is crazy good now. Fits into that top bracket category with Mewtwo and Rayquaza as far as generalists are concerned. And then finally you could have Gengar with either Hex or Shadow Claw as quick moves and a Shadow Ball as a charge move. Those are my picks. There are certainly others, guys. You could use Latios with psychic moves. You could use Deoxys. You could use the dragons, any of the generalist dragons, Dragonite, Salamence, Rayquaza. You could use Houndoom. There are loads of options out there, Bayonet, that you could use, but the ones that I've listed are probably the top choices. They're going to give you the best time to win, which means you can get more raids in, which means you get more opportunities at a shiny. And that reminds me, make sure you pay attention to your icons, because shiny Gengar is very similar to regular Gengar. When it Mega Evolves, it looks very different. The Mega Evolutions of Gengar, one of them is purple and one of them is white, so you can really tell the difference. A base Gengar without the Mega Evolution, it's just a lighter shade of purple. It's almost blue, maybe a lilac colour, whereas Gengar is very purple. It's like a royal purple. So make sure that you keep an eye out for your shiny swirl and the little shiny symbol that appears above the CP to check to see whether you've got a shiny after each raid that you complete, guys. I think it would be easily missed in a situation where you're rushing to get to the next one. Let's say you're waffle raiding, or maybe just walking in a big gang around a park or something. You could easily miss it and dismiss it. I'm not saying that people won't be catching these Pokemon, surely they will be, but you might miss the fact and waste what could be valuable throws by just throwing really quickly or whatever. So just make sure that you check, guys. So that's my little guide, everything you need to know about the Gengar raid day, guys. It's going to be super exciting. I can't wait. I kind of predicted that there might be a Gengar thing happening at Halloween. It's just after Halloween. I thought it was going to be a quest, but they did a quest with Spiritomb. So this is going to be huge, guys. It's the first of a first raid day that's not from a legendary category, which is great. Maybe they'll follow a similar system that they're doing with the loot boxes. So 3 legendaries, then a random option. So with the loot boxes, they did the 3 legendary birds, then Snorlax with Body Slam, then the 3 legendary beasts, then a random thing with the box, the Shedinja that they've just released, that they're going to be doing. So they could follow a similar pattern with these raid days. 3 legendaries, a random thing, 3 legendaries, a random thing, and so on and so forth. I hope that this video has been informative. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.